Hi guys. So I'm here to answer a query I've been receiving both on my personal platforms and on Alt Academy. This relates to paper exemptions for the June 2022 exam session, especially for the sciences for both O-levels, IGCSE and A-levels. I'll take A-levels as the example, but it also applies to IGCSE and O-levels. Now, Cambridge has offered these exemptions for many components in different subjects. I'm specifically talking about the lab exams for the sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology. Now, what I'm going to tell you is derived from data of my own students from the last exam series in November and in June. And also based on some other teachers for other subjects data who were kind enough to share their overall data with me about their distribution. Without their names, obviously, but I saw the grade distribution. And the data is this, that there was not a single student who took an exemption and was hurt by the exemption. That's the summary. They were neutral in terms of their grade distribution, or they were better. Now, what that means? So let me take the specific example of first year students. Now, first year science students generally in Cambridge have three papers: paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. Paper 3 is lab. Cambridge has given exemption to take for paper 3. Now, lab papers require different kinds of study. My reason for telling kids to always take the exemption is it'll give you more time to focus on the theory part of the paper, which does require time. So now you can save all that time for revising for lab to focus on theory. You have fewer papers to worry about, fewer stress points in the exam. All of that stuff helps. So now you might say, okay, but what if there's a loss to taking an exemption? Because I've heard, and some of you said this, that if you take an exemption, Cambridge looks at it negatively. They didn't look at it negatively in the results I saw. This is what I saw. That everybody, and we had forced all of my class to take the exemptions for paper 3. Not a single student had a grade for their paper 3 that was predicted. That grade was nobody had a lower grade than their paper 1 or paper 2 components. In fact, they had either equal to the lower grade or a higher grade. For example, there were many kids who had paper 1A, paper 2A, and the predicted grade for paper 3 was A and overall grade A. There were many like that. Because you need to understand that the highest percentage for grade depends on paper 2 for all the 3 sciences. This is first years. So my suggestion for first year science students is take the exemption. Now, there might be 1 or 2 kids who said, no, I know somebody whose grade got lowered. And I know this, I know that there was a one person in all of our data that had a lower grade. And you know why? Because they didn't tell you that they also took a second year component. So they had A's in their first year components, paper 1 and paper 2. But they had a second year component, paper 4, which they got a D in. And their overall grade, therefore, became a C. And therefore, Cambridge used a paper 4 grade to also predict paper 3, which seemed lower than everything. So you can't look at that in isolation. Cambridge will use all the data you give them to predict your grade. Let me repeat, not a single kid got a lower grade than their individual paper 1s and paper 2s. So if they had AA, overall grade was A. If they had AB, depending on which paper was the B and how low the B was, the overall grade was an A or a B, never a C. Those kids who had 2 Bs, sometimes they even got an A overall or a B. They never got a C. Nobody was disadvantaged. That's guaranteed. Not in the data I saw. And I saw data for at least 300 students. None. And for second year. All of my kids took a second year paper 5 exemption. And for them also, every paper 5 predicted grade was equal to or actually higher than paper 4. And when it was even lower, the overall grade was still exactly the same as their paper 4 grade. So paper 4 is going to determine your grade. You might say, well, I can do well in paper 5. So let me take the exam. So that student who has already done enough practice in paper 5 and is doing really well in paper 5, but is scoring badly in paper 4 for sciences in A2, they should maybe sit for paper 5. But I don't know anybody like that because everybody has been focusing on the theory and they feel more confident in paper 4. Most of you have not even touched paper 5. They leave it to the last month or so. I say take the exemption on paper 5. You will only be at advantage of then focusing only on paper 4 exams. The advantage is more free time. More time to study for the rest of the components. So my suggestion to you is focus on that and maximize the opportunity of getting that A for yourself by focusing on paper 1s and 2s in AS, paper 4s in A2, and even paper 1s and paper 2s in your IGCSE and O levels. All right? So that's my advice. Take it. You'll be in the plus. Okay? Ciao. Bye.